Hi, this is Tyler Hardwick from Next Level Guitar. How you guys doing? Hope you're ready to learn some fingerstyle techniques. I'm here to show you basic right and some left hand fingerstyle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the guitar and some of the basic things you need to know to get started. So this next part of the lesson is going to cover some basic shape and length ideas about nails if you choose to use them. As you can see here, again, they're not very long, and the only part that really makes contact with the string if you're using nails is this side. So it's, if you're looking at your hand and it's facing away from you like this, I guess it would be the right side of each nail, and so this side of each nail is making contact with the string, and that's where the string, that's what's plucking the string. So it's important to have your nails shaped correctly if you're going to have nails. And there are some books out there, and you know, teachers can help you figure this out too, but everybody's nail is going to be a little different, so the shaping you use is going to be a little different. And again, steel strings are going to wear through your nails pretty quickly, so if you're playing a lot of steel string, you may find that your nails don't last as long as they would if you were playing nylon. Okay, let's talk again about the positioning of the right hand on the strings. A lot of people like to use this technique where you just make basically a fist, place your hand right over the sound hole here, and then open it up. Just open it up until each finger is standing on a string. So it's going from a flat closed position straight up, and then again, what happens here is the thumb stays on the lowest string generally, unless it's being used, and then these upper three fingers are on strings 1, 2, and 3. Or finger I is on string 3, index finger. Finger M, middle finger, is on string 2, and the A finger, or your ring finger, is right here on the highest string. So that's your general position for almost everything. You can start here, and like I said, as you move, generally the thumb takes care of the low 3 strings here, and these higher ones play individual strings or together, or they can cross over and play the individual strings themselves. So, good starting position. Now let's talk about some right hand strokes, and there are two basic ones that everyone knows and everyone needs to learn. The first one is going to be called the rest stroke. You may have heard this if you play with a pick. It's the same kind of idea, except, you know, we're not going to be plucking down with our finger. We're going to be plucking more or less towards us and up a little bit. Although with the rest stroke, as you can see, you pluck down towards the guitar and then you rest on the next string after that. So what I'm doing here is I've moved from this position to a little more, my fingers have become a little more straightened out here. So my hand is actually moved back just a tiny bit, and that enables me to get these fingers in the right position for rest strokes. And I'm going to show you here, well, this is called planting. So after we've planted our finger, then we can pluck. And again, I'm going to show you the rest stroke on the first string with finger I. That's the first finger. Okay? And what you do, again, once you've straightened your hand out a little bit, is you just pluck straight down and let your finger rest on the next string. So I've plucked 1, and it's landing on number 2 there. And as soon as I land on number 2, I adjust it so that it's ready to pluck in case I'm going to play this string again next. So that's the idea of the rest stroke, and you can do that with this finger, finger M as well, or finger A. I'm using string 1 every time here. And so leave your thumb planted, pluck, and as you practice this, try to you know, use different volume levels and different amounts of strength, because you'll find that there is, you know, a point where you're hitting it too hard, but you know, you can get very quiet too.
A lot of dynamics.
Exactly. So, you know, dynamics are your friend. Any guitar player will tell you, and the electric, acoustic, if you can think of dynamics, it's going to bring a lot more to your performance. So, that's the basic idea behind the rest stroke. Now let's look at the thumb also. The thumb can do a rest stroke as well. And it, again, if it's right here where it usually is, planted on the 6th string, you're going to just pluck straight down with the thumb and let it rest on the next string. So that was plucking 6, resting on 5. Okay, and then you can pluck 5. You can see how that works. Same thing here. Now my upper fingers can rest on these strings because I'm not playing those yet. So that's a nice kind of reference, so your hand can know where these strings are. When, you know, it's good to leave them planted as much as possible. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the rest stroke. When you're plucking this stroke, you're going to be moving your fingers mainly from this joint, the main biggest hand and knuckle joint here. You're not really closing your fingers like this as you pick, so you shouldn't be going like that when you pick. It's more of your whole hand moving. So we'll get to the free stroke, but in the rest stroke, as you pluck, you can see this finger is mainly moving like this. It's not curling like this. This knuckle here is staying straight, maybe just tiny bit curved, but the whole finger is swinging. And that's the same way it's going to be for all these moves. And so when you're playing a rest stroke, say you're just playing a scale with a rest stroke, and you may alternate. And you see how my fingers are moving only from the main knuckle here. And that's very important because that makes you use the right muscles here in your arm instead of the muscles in your hand, which you use if you're, bending from these knuckles. So next I'm going to show you a little bit about the free stroke, and that's very much like the rest stroke, except you're going to be using this first basic position I showed you here. So get your hand back to the correct position, and now the free stroke is the same thing, except what happens is after you pluck the string, your finger moves away and that it's free. So if you can see in this close-up view here, I'm going to use my first finger as an example, and I'm just going to pluck and let go. See how it's not landing on any other string? It's flying right up underneath my thumb. My thumb is out a little ways this way so that when my finger plucks, it can go behind the thumb. Some people have their thumb over here, right, and that's going to get in the way. So you have to make sure your thumb is a little bit forward of the rest of your fingers. So then when you pluck your free stroke, you can get nice volume, tone, and make sure to follow through with that finger too. Don't just pluck a little bit or bend your finger here. Make sure you're bending at the main knuckle and your whole finger is swinging. Same with the middle finger. You can do M finger or A finger. And I'm going to show you some exercises pretty soon that you can use to develop these and get a lot more comfortable with them. But so that's the free stroke and the rest stroke, very important two main strokes. And again, just be listening for the best tone you can get. A lot of it does have to do with this angle on the side of your nail. So if it's a little jagged, or if it catches on the string, or if you have even just the wrong angle, you can have very brittle, not really the sound we want, but if you use the right angle.
It's like a very sweet tone, huh?
Right, yeah, you're going for, I mean, I like to say it's modeled after a pick tone, but it can be almost a little sweeter sometimes.
Yeah.
And again, it's very expressive. You can play up here, towards the neck and get a little more sweet tone, as we say, or back here by the bridge. Then you can get that more sharp, trebly sound.